Hello everybody and welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Ashley or Ashley B. Lutz on Instagram, and I'm going to take you through a normal check-in day with my online coach. So a little bit about me first to preface this whole thing. I am an NPC Bikini competitor. I'm currently in my improvement season. My last show was July of 2021, Universe. So I actually did a mini cut for a few months this year. It was potentially going to be a prep, but ended up being a mini cut. And now I plan to actually compete again in 2023. So I'm currently reverse dieting. I'm checking in with my online coach today. I'm with Jamie DeBernard with Team Fit Body Fusion. So every Tuesday, you can find me doing this exact routine. I wake up at about 5:40, and then I do my normal AM things, drink my Nespresso, as you can see here. And this is actually to make sure that things are very consistent, if you know what I mean. Consistency is key, especially when working with an online coach, because you check in with them once a week. So you want to make sure that you have all of your variables accounted for. I even go so far as to make sure that I eat foods that digest really well the day before, and am really good at my water. Not that I'm not good at my water any other day, but I make sure to pay special attention on that day. And anyways, now I go on to, after I do my Nespresso shot, I go into my mindset work, which is reading the Daily Stoic and writing 3 things that I'm grateful for. I really love to do that first thing when I wake up, just to really set myself up for a good day. And then I make sure that my posing station is good to go. So like I mentioned earlier, consistency is key. So yeah, you can see that I push my ottoman back to the same spot every time, and I put that foam roller there that I'll actually set my phone on to take a video and record myself. So now I move into vacuums. So I do prefer to do these before I actually take my check-in video/pictures. I do vacuums 4 days a week, and I typically do a vacuum for 15 seconds. As you can see here, I'm sucking it in, and then I let it out for about 10 seconds and rinse and repeat for about 10 intervals. So I like to do this hunched over like this, like with my elbows on the counter. It puts me in a good position to really be able to work on that transverse abdominal muscle, and yeah, that's just my preferred method. Sometimes I will stand up, which I'll show you guys in a second, but this puts me in the best position personally. And I do try to do these in multiple different positions, especially standing up, since it is harder when you stand up. And you can see here, it takes me about 5 minutes-ish to complete my vacuums. So it's truly a quick and easy exercise, and highly recommend to do on an empty stomach. Next, I get out my posing heels, Shoe Fairy, code Ashley to save 10%, and my posing suit from Angel Competition Bikinis. Again, code to save 10%. This one is actually Ashley B. Lutz. But anyways, now on to my measurements. So I measure my waist, as you can see here. I'm currently at a 23.5 inch waist. I think I competed at like a 22.5 inch waist, so looking good there. And next I do my hip measurements. So I think I'm currently at a 36.5. So I measure the largest part of my glutes. Yeah, I'll show you there in a second. 36.5. Last, I measure my thighs. I do both my left and my right thigh. I measure 10 inches up from the top of my knee every time. So I measure the same spot on my thigh every time. So my thighs are currently sitting at 20.5 inches. And just for reference, I am 5'5", a little over 5'5". And you can see here that I go ahead and write down my measurements. I put this on my check-in form, which I actually fill out the day before. So I have this questionnaire that I fill out for Jamie, and it goes over details like, how's your digestion? How's your sleep? Any other details? Did you deviate from the plan? So I fill that out the night before, and I just make a note of my measurements so that when it's time to put in my stuff into the app, which I'll show you guys in a bit, I have that all ready to go. So as you guys see here, I put my phone on my little foam roller, and I face the camera towards me, not the selfie one, but the one where you can't actually see yourself. So I go ahead and do a video recording. As you see here, gotta stretch out a little bit and such. Make sure that I'm limber enough to pose. And I go ahead and I screenshot the right parts of the video in order to basically send those pictures over to Jamie as my check-in photos. So I don't do the self timer or anything. I just take the video and screenshot. I find this to be just much easier for me personally. It's just quick, convenient. That's what I do. So give you guys a little bit of an improvement season update as I roll through this footage here. As I mentioned, I'm a year into improvement season. Of course, that is with about a 3.5 month mini cut where I went from my highest weight of about 133 to now I'm sitting around like the upper 125s, 126. So down about, what is that? If I could math, 7 pounds, I believe. So it was a good little mini cut, and we thought we were gonna do a prep, but then realized that my glutes just aren't quite dense enough in the middle. So that is the mission. And when I step on stage in 2023, I'm hoping to have those glutes shine. So now I'm gonna go into how I pick my posing picture. So I did go ahead and screenshot. I didn't show you guys that, but I lay out last week's photo compared to, which, like you can see here, I'm selecting which photo I think looks best in comparison to last week's photo so that I can pick the one that looks most comparable to last week. So Jamie has good comparable progress photos because sometimes my shoulders are a little off, or they don't look quite the same. So as you can see here, I'll go between a couple pictures. Again, I save these actually for my reference so I can go back and see week to week how I was looking. And I do this for all of my pictures, both of my sides and my back pose. So it does actually depend on which side I pose on. So I posed on both sides, but I practice both sides to not get imbalances. And that is a huge tip that I think is really valuable, is practice both sides of your posing. It not only allows more flexibility in that if you do end up looking better on one side, you can pose both, but also to limit those inconsistencies side to side. So now you can see I went into the Fit Body Fusion app. I select the photos that I picked just now, upload them all to the app so Jamie can see them, and then I go ahead and log my measurements. So the measurements that I wrote down earlier, waist, hips, and right and left thigh. And then I've already submitted my intake form to her as well. So you can see here that's last week's. It was about the same. I think my hips went down a little bit. Yeah, that's how I edit my photos and like put in my check-in, is I lay down on the couch, and if I need to redo something I can, but obviously didn't do that this time. Then I try to put everything back the way I found it, and I am done with this part of the check-in. So I then go back into the bathroom, change out of my posing suit, and I do weigh myself at this point. So this is again pre-food, so I still haven't had food. I think at this point it's like 6:20-ish. So I've been awake for about 40 minutes at this point, and you can see here that's why I keep my posing suit and my heels very conveniently in the bathroom in case I do want to do any kind of posing. But yeah, now time to weigh myself. So I do have a scale from Amazon that Bluetooths to my phone. So you can see here I was 127 the day before, and on check-in day ended up at 125.8. And you can see that also actually feeds into my Fitbit app, which feeds into my Fit Body Fusion app. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed.